Hey guys, so there's something I want to discuss. I just watched a bike radar video the other day, and GCN was talking about cranks the other day. They have yet to mention it in the 4 years I think they've been on. They might have mentioned it one or two times, but there's really only, well, not really only, but there's really only two sizes of cranks really talked about in road cycling, and that is your standard, which is what most pros will run, and that's typically a 53, 39, or a 38, and then there's compact, which is a 50, 34. I don't run those. Most bikes in the bike shops that I go in and purchase come with what is called either a mid-compact or a semi-compact, and they typically come with a 52-36. They're 110 bolt hole circles or diameters, same as the compact, but one thing that Bike Radar mentioned is you cannot put a 34 inner ring on a 52, like a mid compact, because the difference is too much, and if you can, the shifting is horrible, or there's a lot of drop chains, and I want to set something straight. So there's a lot of mountains around here. There are some pretty steep 14% grades. There's one hill in Jasper that I like doing, the Sky Tram, which is the Whistler climb. The gradient's a little obscured because there is a downhill section for 100 meters, but it's like a 4% down for 200 meters, and that really obscures it. But it's basically 4 kilometers of doing 10%, with pitches up to, I think I've seen on my Garmin, 15%. And that sucks. It kind of sucks, especially when you're 200 pounds and you're trying to drop that weight, but you can't. But anyways, but then those downhills, you want a big chain ring. So on a 50, you'd spin out, because I regularly go 70, 80 kilometers down these hills. And basically, once I get to 70 kilometers an hour, I'm spun out. Like, I know Darren Ryder will say, oh no, like if you're spun out, you can't be spun out 130, 140 cadence. But I find, I don't have the practice yet, that I can't push with any power above 115, 120 cadence. So with a 52-11, that's typically where our spin out is, somewhere around 70. But with those climbs, with a 28 cassette, even 30 cassette, like 30-11 cassette, I find that sometimes when you're at the end of the ride and you're doing that last big long climb, you need that 34 inner ring. And really, if you're riding a 34 inner chain ring, it's somewhere equivalent to if I ran, instead of running a 28 cassette, I ran a 25 cassette. Basically the difference there, the 25 to 28, that's the difference. It's basically one extra gear. It's nice, but here's the thing. So I've been riding it for 3 years. 3 years on my Expert Tarmac, and I would not put it on my S-Works model if I'd had any problems. On both of my bikes, you can't see it because it's kind of blacked out, the writing, but that's a 34 and that's a 52. Bring you over to the Trek. Trek got the same gear. 52 even though that says it's a 36. It actually came originally with a 36, but I swapped it out. That was for my other cranks, and that's a 34. I have had no problems. If you know what you're doing, or your mechanic knows what you're doing, no problem. One thing I notice is if you're running a short case derailleur, you kind of either max out your derailleur on the top end, which you're not supposed to do, big ring, big cog, or if you're doing your inner cog and your smallest your 11. I do find there is too much of that, so it's either your cassette or your derailleur's wide open and your cassette's way closed. So I find the medium cage is definitely the way to go. It soaks up that chain, but yeah, I have had no problems. I like it. I don't think it really gives me an advantage, but I do have that extra gear if I ever need it. But yeah, like if they say it's not possible, it definitely is possible. It's just big bike companies wanting to sell you more gears. It's like saying to Tony Martin when he switched to the Canyon team or Katusha that he could not run the E-Tap as a 1x, but he ran it as a 1x on his time trial bike. It's like saying that, like you can do it, you're not supposed to, but you can, kind of thing. I just wanted to get that out there. Like, you can run a 52-34. I'm actually looking at trying to get a 53 with a 110 bolt hole circle. It's a little hard to find. I might have problems with that, but I don't think I really will. I think the limiting factor on that one will be the actual size of the cage, and I don't think it'll be too bad. My time trial cranks, which is 130, I got a 54-39 on there, and there's not really any problem with that. The problem with that one when I had it on my time trial bike was the lack of derailleur. So it was a small cage, so it didn't soak up that chain. But yes, it is possible. And it shifts fine. I have not had a chain drop in 4 years, so I'm not the best mechanic. I really haven't done any classes on it, but I work with my hands for a living. I do welding, millwrighting. I'm not ticketed in millwrighting, but I have gone to school for it. But it's possible. Thanks for watching. Try to make some more videos here shortly. But yeah, talk to you later. Thanks. Bye.